KTA jocks had to retaliate in a darker, more ominous way, remixing a classic Fantasia song and in the music video, printing out a big poster of two of ATK Ance's friends, and his blood brother who died by ATK Ance's side, in a drive-by shooting outside the Japanese steakhouse. ATK Ance's was the only one in the car who survived. Since then, both KTA Jocks' crew and ATK Ance's crew released diss song after diss song towards each other, leaving hidden messages in the music videos.
They found his bones, he was right.
Where is Corbin Johnson? The 18-year-old's parents say they dropped him off last week at a job interview and they never saw him again.
Left his house Wednesday night. Here's a picture of him behind us. And there's little in the way of clues as to where he might be.
Corbin ass was lost until they found him in that bag.
Corbin Johnson was last seen alive in July of last year. Then last Friday, a man discovered the victim's skeletal remains.
ATK Ants and KTA Jocks were never exactly close, but they did have mutual friends such as ATK JJ, who right now is locked up with his own father, charged for 2 murders, including the killing of KTA Jocks' blood brother KTA Ajay. After KTA Ajay's murder, ATK JJ would notoriously walk around wearing KTA Ajay jerseys, taking photos like it was a trophy. A few months later, one of ATK Ance's friends was out on a mission, looking to avenge a robbery that had happened to him on the west side of Jacksonville, at KTA Jocks' cousin's house, so he snuck into the house, throwing a brick through the sliding door, entering from the back where he began shooting. No mask, no gloves. He couldn't get who robbed him, and instead he ended up killing KTA Jocks' cousin, Zion, and wounding a 9-year-old girl. If this was the start of a war, Zion's death was the catalyst. KTA Jocks' cousin being the first death in the beef meant KTA were looking to get revenge swiftly. They needed to make an example. ATK Ance's music was starting to pick up steam. His new song, F That, was getting millions of views on World Star in mere days. Fans were already comparing him to Young Boy. Then a week later this happened.
4 young men were in this car when they were shot. The vehicle pulled up to their Chevy sedan, opened fire, then took off. And one is in critical condition at the hospital.
Keontae Bullard, the only survivor of the quadruple shooting.
It's a Tuesday in June of 2018. ATK Ance's brother and 2 friends were going to Wasabi, a Japanese steakhouse, for Ance's friend's 18th birthday. Everyone was in good spirits, taking photos. It was a celebration, but little did they know, the whole time they were under surveillance, rivals KTA had found out their location because of ATK Ance's Instagram story, taking photos outside the steakhouse. ATK Ance even recorded his friends eating inside the restaurant and posted that too, so their enemies waited outside watching them eat, then followed them leaving the restaurant, driving along the highway. When they got to a red light, the shooters opened fire on the passenger side of ATK Ance's car, killing his 2 best friends and his brother, leaving ATK Ance in critical condition. It was a quadruple shooting, and KTA Jocks got the news before anyone else did, except he thought ATK Ance was dead.
Them boy lost the Fortnite match. Took on up cold summer alert, man.
And at the top of the next year, in February 2019, Jocks' little brother, KTA Ajay, was the next target for assassination. KTA Ajay was just 16 at the time, and he was coming home from school one day, in his own neighborhood, on the north side of Jacksonville, at the Hilltop Apartments. He was sitting on a gazebo, in the courtyard of his complex with a friend. The 2 were looking at their phones when, all of a sudden, pounding gunfire erupted. KTA Ajay and his friend dropped the phone and jumped. Both started running in different directions, frantically looking for cover. A total of 60 rounds were shot in under 15 seconds. KTA Ajay was killed instantly. A year later, when the court documents were unsealed, the police named ATK JJ as the gunman responsible for KTA Ajay's murder, saying that they drove for hours circling the complex, parking and waiting, until finally springing out and unleashing Draco rounds in KTA Ajay's direction. Then ATK JJ allegedly walked up to KTA J, who was on the ground, shielding himself from the gunfire, and executed him at close range, before fleeing the apartment complex in a gray Nissan. The court documents also mention ATK JJ's affinity for wearing KTA J jerseys, and posting it to his IG page in celebration. ATK JJ's bond is currently set at $4 million.